Hey, welcome back to another episode on the Budgeting with Confidence podcast. How does the phrase, "it's not in the budget," make you feel? Like my husband, he absolutely hates it. It makes him feel poor. But to me, it means it's not the most important thing right now, that it can wait, right? And this is what we're going to be talking about today. In this episode, we are going to talk about being intentional with your money. It's going to help you make wise financial choices that allow you to have confidence in yourself, in your money, and be proactive instead of reactive. After today, you will be able to make mindful decisions that are right for you and your family at the time that it comes up. So, go get your drink, open your heart to God, and let's dive in. If you're ready to build wealth, ensure financial security, stop overspending, and finally create a budget you can stick to, you mama are in the right place. Hi, I'm Molly, a budget coach and financial strategist who went from living paycheck to paycheck to paying off debt, saving money, and going on vacation, all by budgeting. And I help mamas just like you budget and create God-centered systems and routines so that you too can have financial freedom. Now stop pinching those pennies and let's dive in. Are you ready to get in control of your finances, to start telling your money what to do and where to go, but you struggle with diligence and intentionality? You create budgets and plans for your money only to not follow through. What if I told you I had a way you could manage your money intentionally without the need to willpower your way through? The traditional way of budgeting is 100% based on willpower, which makes it so easy to fail. But my system is not reliant upon willpower. It helps you organize your money so that you can see what's going on. It separates things out so that you're able to see what's going on, how much you've spent, and make decisions that keep you in the driver's seat. It's much harder to fail with my system because even if you choose to intentionally move things around, you are still technically in control. So, if you're ready to take back control of your finances, email me control@mollybennell@gmail.com and let's see if financial coaching is right for you. Again, that's control to Molly Bennell, so MOLLY, B as in boy, ENELL @gmail.com. Also, make sure that you join my email list so that you're able to join my first ever live office hours event that I am hosting next week. I'm so excited. Come with your questions or email me them in advance and I will answer them for you live and in person on Zoom. For more information on the office hours event, sign up by going to the show notes, scrolling down, and clicking Become an Insider. Once you join, you'll learn the date, time, and get the link to join the call. I am so excited to meet you in person and to answer all of your budgeting questions. But with that, let's jump into today's episode. All right, so I use the phrase, "it's not in the budget," kind of a lot. And like I mentioned earlier, it's not because I don't have the money. It's because I have decided to put that money elsewhere. And so when something comes up that's not important or not something that I'm willing to move money around for, then I say it's not in the budget. And my husband, oh my gosh, he gets so mad at me because to him, it feels like we have no money, right? So that is what I really want to make sure that you understand the true meaning of. Now, sometimes, yes, it does mean it's a lack of funds, but most of the time it's just sometimes it can even be a cop-out for not wanting to do something that somebody else is wanting you to do, right? You can just say, "Oh, well, it's not in the budget, I can't do it," instead of just saying, "No, I don't really want to do it." But it's still, in all technicality, means that you are not willing to change up your plan for whatever it is that's come up, right? It doesn't mean that it's not important ever. It just means it's something that next budget, I'm going to put it into the budget. It means that other things have priority over what it is that came up, right? And so that is what I really want you to make sure you understand when it comes to that phrase. Like a lot of people, like I said, tie it to a lack of funds, and that's not the case. If you don't have the money, you're mostly going to say, I don't have the money versus it's not in the budget, right? There's a difference between those two sayings. So with my budgeting system, I literally have to rework the math and physically transfer money for me to put whatever it is into the budget. And right now, my brain just does not have the energy for that. Like I literally have been getting angry these days when I sit down to budget because I'm so exhausted from not being able to get my baby to sleep through the night. And so extra work is not something that I want to do right now. So if it's not planned when I sit down to budget, I'm not touching anything else. I'm not using the brain power to do that. So my phrase, the thing I'm going to say is it's not in the budget, right? And you should get comfortable saying that as well, because if it's not in the budget, it's not in the budget. And whether that means that you literally don't have the money for it because everything has been put somewhere else, like all the money has been allotted to something that actually is a need versus a want, or whether it just means you don't want to take the time or the brain power to sit down and figure it out, it doesn't matter. It literally just means it's not in the budget. And so don't put a negative connotation on that, right? So that's something I really want you to understand, because today's episode is about being intentional. It's about purposely putting your money places. And so if it's not in the budget, that means that you have created a purpose for your money, right? It means that you have sat down, planned it out, decided what's going to happen with that money, in advance. And it's not something that you want to change up. It doesn't matter whether it's due to funds, time, energy, doesn't matter. You're sticking to it, right? And so that is what I want to make sure that you come away with today, like how you can be intentional with your money, how you can create your own it's not in the budget for me due to priority instead of lack of funds, right? So let's jump into that. I have 3 tips for you, or 3 steps, I should say, as to how it is that you can be more intentional with your money. I know I sat down and I'm like, that word I struggle with sometimes. Sometimes I struggle with the word intentionality because I'm like, what does that actually mean? Like, I had to do a whole bunch of Googling and go to the dictionary and figure out like the actual technical terms, which is where I came with like doing it on purpose kind of thing. But I still was like, it feels like this big elusive word to me. So I am trying to make it a little less elusive for you. Maybe you're like me, or maybe you do understand the word. And so this is going to be like, well, yeah, that's what that word means to you. But this is just where my brain is because, again, I'm exhausted and I just feel like people throw the word intentional out so much that I'm like, well, what does it actually mean? Like, how can you actually be intentional with your money? And so I have 3 steps for you to do that and be intentional with your money. So step number 1 is to set a goal. How are you going to be intentional and on purpose? Is you're going to have goals. You're going to have priorities. You're going to know what it is that you want to do with your money, right? If you just sit down and go, okay, I want to be intentional with my money, but you have no plans, you have no direction for your money, for what it is that you want to do with life, then it's going to be elusive. Like the intentional word, the word intentional is going to be elusive to you because you're like, well, what am I supposed to be intentional towards? How do I be intentional when I don't know what I want to do? So the first step is to set goals. Know what you want to do with your money, and then you're going to create a budget supporting these goals, right? So that's step number 2. And I do want you to know that this is what I walk you through in financial coaching. So if you're still really like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do, definitely DM me, or not DM me. Here I am thinking Facebook. Email me and we can get this straightened out for you, right? But back to creating a budget. Create a budget that supports those goals. So if your goal is to pay off debt, then make sure that as much of your extra, which I'm putting in air quotes, extra money, because it's not technically extra, but you get what I'm saying, is going towards that. Put as much as you can, as you feel comfortable, towards that goal. And you're not going to be able to do that or know how much money that is that you're able to put towards that if you don't have a budget. So you need to create a budget so that you know how much money you have, how much margin, so extra, again, air quotes around the word extra, money you have, so that then you can put it towards paying that debt down. Same way if you're trying to save up money. Same way if you're trying to build an emergency fund, right? Whatever your financial goal is, you've got to have the margin in your budget. And the only way you can create that margin or see what your margin even is by creating a budget and then creating a plan around your goal. Again, if this is confusing for you, email me so that we can work together and get this figured out for you, right? Get your own personal strategy created, because that's what I love doing. Step number 3 then is to make financial choices as things come up with those goals in mind, right? So you have your goals, you have your budget that supports those goals, so you're already putting money away. So when something comes up, you have to weigh the choice. Which is more important, the thing right now or the end goal, your financial goal, the thing in the long run? Yes, it takes more time. You do have to be diligent. You have to be okay with saying no to things if you really, truly want that financial goal. So sometimes it's really hard to decide those things. And sometimes your financial goal is something that you know you need to do, like paying off debt, but it's not technically something that you want to do. And you don't want to throw all that money towards it, which again, we can create a plan together that allows you a little bit of leeway in both directions, where you're paying off debt quicker, but you still have a little bit of wiggle room for the fun things that you want to do in life, right? And so that is what you need to do. You have to make these financial decisions. And one of the most important things is you need to set it and forget it. So automation is the most, I don't want to say important, but one of the fastest ways in order to reach these goals, because if you set it and forget it, then you aren't feeling the weight of, oh my gosh, I have all this money that I could put somewhere else. Instead, you are just seeing what you have, what's in the account that you're able to spend, so what's in your spending account, and you can spend it on whatever, however, whatever your plans are, right? But at the same time, you are still working towards your financial goals, and that is the important thing. And that is why I really want you to understand that you don't want to be rigid, right? You need or want something. If there's something you want or something that you need, then make sure that you do it. So sometimes there are things in life, for instance, last fall, we had to redo our porch because the windows were falling out. It was a whole thing. Our house is a 100-year-old house, if not older. I don't remember the exact year it was built. I just know that it was moved here by horse and wagon to where it's sitting at now from a previous location. So, I mean, it's a pretty old house. And so the porch itself, it just wasn't exactly taken care of the greatest, and there was some leaks in it. So, the windows just started going downhill. And they were still the old windows with glaze around them. And it was like a sun porch, a sunroom kind of thing. And so the windows were just little, I'm going to say 4x8 panes. And the whole, farmhouse style look kind of thing. And so there was a lot of windows and a lot of panes and a lot of pieces of wood that got wet. And so those little panes were just falling out. And so because it was an outdoor porch, it wasn't heated or anything. We were just using wood to keep the birds out kind of thing. And finally, we're like, okay, we got to take care of this. So we ended up tearing the whole porch down to its studs, raising the roof so that we could actually fit a full-size door in there. And guess what? That ended up taking priority so that we could get the windows and everything, the exterior sealed. it took priority over paying off debt, over saving things. That was a thing in life that had to be put first over all of my savings. So now I feel like everything is just blown up and out of way out in left field or right field. I can never remember which is the actual direction of that, but you get what I'm saying. It's just so messed up, and I have yet to be able to get it back on track since doing that. But it was a choice that we made that we needed to do so that it could get sealed up before winter came, because we did not want snow on all the hard work that we did of getting this new porch put back up, like getting the studs put back in, because we even took the studs out. Like, we took this thing down to pretty much nothing and rebuilt the entire porch. And we were not about to let that go bad. So yes, that took priority. Knowing that and making that decision was because we had a goal. We shifted the goal. We created a budget that supported that new goal and went with it. Now I have to shift things back so that we can get back on track with what we want with our yearly things that need to be paid for, right? So we're slowly getting there. Life has happened, which you've probably listened to the last couple episodes of what happened with having a baby, what happened with the summer. There's just lots of things that have been going on, right? So then with that being said, we need to make sure that we're not rigid with our plan, right? Things happen, life happens, and you got to be willing to change things up. But the issue with not being able to stick to your budget is because we're not thinking ahead, right? We don't have these goals right in front of our face when we're out there buying things. And so it can be hard to make financial decisions when we're out of the house, when we're not thinking about our long-term goals, right? So that's something that you need to figure out a way in which you can have a system that allows you to think about what is the important thing when you're out buying things, right? Because it can be embarrassing sometimes when you're buying groceries and there's not enough technical money, which air quoting around that, in that account because you've allotted only a certain amount and you went over that budget. So then you're like, oh, well, I have to put some of this back. What am I going to put back? And there's people behind me and all the things and all the emotions. And so you just use a different account. And I'm right there with you. I do that too. I am not perfect because I don't like doing that either. But you totally get what I'm saying here, right? That is something that if we are not thinking ahead, then it's so easy to get off track. But again, I don't want you to be rigid, because even if you have created a plan, you've created a budget, and you realize while you're out at the grocery store that you do need some new clothes, that your underwear has holes in them or your socks are mismatched and you don't like that, or because they've gotten holey, right? Or you need a shirt because your shirts are getting old and worn out and you need to replace them, then buy the thing that you need. Be okay with going over budget, with being off track, with not sticking to the budget, whatever phrase you want to use, because there was a need that needed to be taken care of and you didn't think about it when you were sitting down budgeting. Like, you're not perfect. You're not going to think of everything when you're sitting down to budget. You're not going to be able to be superwoman and know that something breaks that you have to replace, right? Life is going to happen. Things are going to go over budget. You just need to make sure you have that margin in there so that you're not dipping into things like your bills and keeping you from being able to pay things that you need to make sure that there's money in there for, right? So definitely make sure you have a strategy on how you're going to pay for those things when that comes up, right? Maybe you have sinking funds, and that's something I do like help you do, but it's something that I'm like, this is something you should have, is a sinking fund to be able to take care of those things, right? Which is another topic for another day, but I just really want you to understand the importance of budgeting, but at the same time still being lenient and being okay with going over budget, because over budget is not the same as not being able to stick to your budget. I feel like the phrase stick to your budget means that you cannot have ups and downs, and there are going to be ups and downs in budgeting because life is up and down. It's never constant. It's never the same. So we may make repeatable numbers in our budget, which is what I 100% am about, and I help you create that yourself. But life is going to happen, and you've got to be willing to flow with life. And that doesn't mean that you're going to dive into your bills account and buy something that you want versus something you need. It's going to be a need if life happens, right? Like I said, the clothes, that's a need. But if you have a plan for it, if you have a strategy that allows for those things when life happens, then you are going to know where you can pull that money from and how you can use it, right? Okay. I'm working hard at trying to keep these episodes a little bit shorter, so I'm going to stop there. But if you would love or would like to learn more about this, because this is what I do. This is my system. This is my budgeting plan. I help you create your goals. I help you set up a budget that allows you to know where your money's going so that you can see it. That allows you to be in control of your finances and then stop the paycheck to paycheck cycle that a lot of people are living in, right? And I'm sure that's you. That was me. But I created a system that allowed me to get out of that cycle. And so I am able to live in financial peace because I'm not stressing over my finances. I'm not stressing over if I'm going to be able to pay a bill. The things that I'm stressing over in money is, what do I do with the extra money, right? Which again, air quotes on the extra money. But that is where my financial stress is coming from, because we're like, oh, are we on the same page? Do we do this? Do we do this? Which project do we choose? It's not, are we going to meet our needs? It's the next level up of what are we going to do with this money that we have and I don't know what to do with. So if that's the problem that you would like to have, instead of stressing over whether you're able to pay for your groceries or buy the things you need or stick to your budget, this is what I am here for. I help you stick to your budget so that you can feel at peace and in control, so that you can end the paycheck to paycheck cycle and you can start paying off debt and saving money for the future, because that is how you start building wealth, right? This system is the first step towards building wealth, towards getting that debt paid off and having the money to be able to save up for the vacation that you want to go on, or be able to buy the new pickup that you want to buy, right? There's so many financial goals out there and it's hard to pinpoint just one. Maybe you want to save up for your kids' college or for their weddings or whatever it is that you want to do. This is step number one, and this is what I help you with. My financial coaching package is a 6-month package that walks you through 3 steps. The first step is getting your budget in order, which is where the financial piece comes into play. It ends the paycheck to paycheck cycle. You get all of that in 30 days. The first month, we will get you out of the paycheck to paycheck cycle. Step number 2 then is tweaking, fixing things, breaking the budget breakers. So the habits that you've created that make you not be able to stick to your budget or follow through, or the overspending that's done on purpose instead of on accident kind of thing. And then step number 3 is getting that emergency fund built, getting your debt paid off, and saving money, right? Those are the last 3 months, because I believe I take 2 months to work on the budget breakers and putting margin back into your budget, right? Practicing for the first 3 months. And then the last 3 months is getting those financial goals that you're wanting created and built. And that is where the fun comes into place. You get to plan it, you get to set it, you get to leave it, and you get to just run with it. And it's so much fun to be able to get to that phase. And that's the part that I want you to get to. So if this is something that you would love to learn more about, email me financialcoaching@mollybennell@gmail.com. Again, that's MOLLY, B as in boy, ENELL @gmail.com. And I am super excited to get to work with you, to talk to you, to walk you through my 3 steps so that you can start budgeting and start walking in financial peace instead of the stress and overwhelm so that you can be in control of your money instead of your money in control of you, right? Okay. With that being said, I'll see you right back here next week on another episode. I love you and have a great and blessed week. Bye. Hey mama, I pray that today's episode has inspired you and grew you. If so, will you please share it with that friend who is praying for a budget breakthrough and leave a rating and review so that you can help get the podcast out to other mamas struggling with their budget. Also, get some support for yourself by joining my free Facebook group and becoming an insider where you get weekly support emails and are the first to find out when something new is on its way. You can find the links in the show notes, and I will see you right back here next Tuesday.